Have Auburn, the first SEC road test in Jordan-Hare. I will be at least tailgating here at this game, if not going to the game, and trying to get down there and see what I can feel and what I can experience there in Jordan-Hare. But don't let this 6-win season last year fool you, because Hugh Freeze has this program feeling very good about themselves and where they're at on the national stage, or at least where they're going. Maybe not necessarily about where they were or where they currently are, but where they are heading to. They're very confident in that. I believe Hugh Freeze's Auburn Tigers were only a year behind Oklahoma, and they're revamping with a new head coach. But coming into this year, now that Freeze has had a season to get his feet wet, he's ready to jump all in. And I also think that even though they were only just a year behind, because they had a 6-win season, exactly like Oklahoma, Oklahoma takes a little bit of a step back going into the SEC. Now, I think we're going to be completely competitive going into the SEC, but there is a little bit of a readjustment going into the SEC, where Auburn just had a 6-win season in the SEC, ready to jump up to that 8 to 10 win season. And I think that's extremely capable. They are extremely capable of doing that, of jumping up to 8, maybe even 9, a really good season. They're looking at 10 wins. And with 10 wins in the SEC with no divisions, you have a very good chance of making it to the SEC championship game. If not that, with 10 wins in the SEC, I believe you're a playoff team. Not to get the Auburn Tiger fans all hyped up just yet, but I do think this is a really good team that is looking for 8 wins for sure. And I think Auburn fans would be very ecstatic over 8 wins after what they had to experience last year with that rebuild. So looking forward to Auburn and this first SEC road test. One thing to look out for is it is in Jordan-Hare. There has been a lot of talk, even guys talking to, I believe it was Carson Beck that was talking to Jackson Arnold, explaining to him about how that place is cursed. We are going to have a lot of prayers going into this game. We are going to have a lot of preparation going into this game. Jordan-Hare is one of those very underrated, nationally, I think very underrated atmospheres. People in the SEC, fans in the SEC, players in the SEC, they understand, but people outside of the SEC, we still have that kind of Big 12 mindset when we go to away games. We're Oklahoma. We can still win this game, but understand that this is one of those very tough atmospheres that is going to be deafening and extremely difficult. Right now, Oklahoma's a 2.5-point favorite. I don't know whether that's going to go up or down. Right now, I feel confident about that 2.5. I think that's a perfect line because I think it's going to be a very close game. I think Oklahoma can come out of this with a win. But another thing to look out for specifically with the team is that Auburn has a very good running attack, just like I talked about with Tennessee. Very good running attack, and they open up for the run. But when you look at that running attack with Auburn, they lean on it very heavily, and they might even open up the field, try to go to the pass game to lean on their run game. Last year, they kept a game very close with Georgia, who was the number 1 team at the time, if memory serves me correctly. And Auburn ran for 219 rushing yards on a Georgia defense. This is a Kirby Smart Georgia defense, and that's what Auburn was able to do in the run game against Georgia last year. They also had a close game with Bama with 244 rushing yards. So even better against a Nick Saban-led Alabama. I think this is a rushing attack that we are going to have to focus on. We are going to have to be strong in the trenches, and I think Oklahoma is going to be strong in the trenches. We have some transfer portal additions. Of course, like I said, our second level there in the linebackers with Danny Stutzman at the helm. I feel very confident with these guys, but pay attention, because they averaged 189 yards per game on the ground last year, and I don't think that's going to change too much going into this season. I think Hugh Freeze is an offensive mastermind. He is a genius when it comes to the offense. I guess I really said that about Josh Heupel as well, but Hugh Freeze is one of those guys that will throw things at you that you were not expecting. So that's something that I think we have to pay attention to going into this Auburn game. Where Oklahoma can capitalize, though, is Peyton Thorne. Truly, I believe Peyton Thorne is a mediocre, maybe just above mediocre. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. He proved to have a very good season with Michigan State when he was there. But since transferring over, he really didn't have very good numbers. And Not even Auburn fans have a whole lot of faith in Peyton Thorne at quarterback. He does have some better wide receivers to pass to, Cam Coleman being the star that everyone's talking about, a freshman that is going to be a standout, and I think that's a guy that we have to lock up. So we have to pay attention to Cam Coleman, a freshman who's 6'3", 197 pounds. So he has speed, he has agility, sticky hands, and the ability to high point a football in a way that our secondary is going to have to step up against. I think we'll be battle tested from Tennessee, and we'll have a better understanding of where that secondary is at and running defense, how well we are going to stop the run against Tennessee. So that's something that I think, at least I'm happy that we have Tennessee first to really know how we feel going into this game. If we can keep up the pressure on Thorne, though, who I don't think has the mobility to really attack Oklahoma, and focus on Coleman, make sure that he doesn't get the ball, but focus on that run game mainly. That run game is the one that will kill us if we allow them to just eat clock, run it down our throats. So focus on that run game and get pressure to Peyton Thorne. I think that is the best way to beat Auburn, and I do think that we have a very good shot of pulling off our first SEC road victory in a very hostile environment. This win also, I think this is one of those very pivotal. If we win Tennessee at home, that's big going into SEC play, but if we can win our first SEC road game in Jordan-Hare, this could be a huge momentum/confidence boost for the Sooners going forward, knowing that they can do whatever it takes to be able to win a game in the SEC.